We're actually the largest dealer for ECS tuning in the world, in the world.
Well, good morning. It's morning for me. This is my time to get these sorts of things done. We had event 4 3 days ago, and was the longest running one yet. It went on for over an hour and a half. It was a lot of good conversation and interesting things that we learned about. It also presented some ideas for some new features, shall we say, in future events. So watch for those. We'll see how many of those happen. It's kind of interesting. This particular event really focused on EuroSport Tuning. Frank happens to be one of the longest term. This seems to be a bit of a theme here. We had Perry, and now we have Frank, longest Audi Club Eastern Canada members. And I met him about 2 years ago, I guess. And yeah, he's a Volvo guy. I've always thought him as a Volvo guy. But it turns out he started out as mostly started out as an Audi guy, and has some now and stuff. So he walks us through his shop, talks a bit about his business, his cars. And yeah, it's kind of interesting to see behind the scenes. I've always just sort of been in the front door and bought the odd thing here and now. So I'll be buying more from Frank, that's for sure. Also in this episode is a good friend, community just a little ways away, Mike. He's going to talk us about his family's Audis. They're fanatical. 3 RSs, a brand new one, just showed up there a few weeks ago, and he's going to talk us through some of those and the features and what they've done with some of those things. He's always a big fan. He's a big fan of the club, but he's also, people are always very interested when he shows up at a drop-in event with his car, with his RS7. So have a look at that. And I'm just going to turn it over to the events. As always, we appreciate your comments. You can email us, leave comments below, as they say. Yeah, hope to hear from you. Love to hear about your ideas and things. And if you'd like to show or present, show your car, your garage, whatever, get in touch with us. Okay? Thanks. Hope you enjoy the episode.
We started off in 2000 is when I started EuroSport Tuning, basically as a side business that wanted to get back into the parts, because the corporate thing I didn't like. But got back into the parts, started on the side, did that for about 2 or 3 years. And it just got so busy that I decided to take the plunge and do it full time. At that point, I took on a partner to help out, and together we've been doing this for 20 years now, 20 years. So it's grown every single year, bigger, more business, increasing sales. This past last year, just over a year ago, we moved into this new location where we're at now. Before that, we were just down the street from the Audi dealer in Oakville here. But now we're just actually right behind the Mercedes dealer in Oakville, just off of Dorval. I'll bring you outside. I'll show you one of the cars I have here. It's not an Audi, but I do have Audi cars, and I've had several of them. I've had an A4 A4 Quattro B6 that I first did up with the body kit and dropped it, lowering springs and 3-piece wheels. From that, I went on to an S4, V8 S4 that my wife drove, and did several upgrades on that, lowering springs, the 034 Motorsport software, had the Vorsteiner wheels on it, and the RS grill, several other little upgrades. My car, I've got a Volvo V70R that I had for several years, might have been 6 or 7 years now, and just love the car. It gets lots of looks.
Just going to do a walk around of our 2006 Volvo V70R. So some of the upgrades we have here: upgrade the brakes to 2-piece rotors, but running the factory Brembo 4-piston calipers on the front. And on the back as well, same 2-piece rotors and the factory Brembo 4-piston calipers on the back. One of the things we got here is the Volvo Prancing Moose of Sweden. A little sticker that guys are running on a lot of their Volvos. On the front here, we've done a carbon fiber lip. Suspension, we've got running on KW V2s. Wheels, they are the Fast FC04s. And then we got a carbon fiber wing on the back that we've painted as well to match the body color of the car. It's a little dirty right now. I didn't get a chance to clean it yet. Exhaust system. It's a 3-inch downpipe, high flow cat, and then goes to twin 2¼ inch pipes with one resonator in the back. So interior wise, we've got a couple extra gauges that we've added. So we got AFE, air fuel and boost gauge. And then we also have snow performance water meth system. Then upgrade shift knob with the space ball shifter system. So now for the engine wise, excuse the dirty engine compartment, but we've got 3-inch downpipe, high flow cat. The turbo on the car is factory turbo housing, K24, but it's been upgraded. All the internals have been upgraded. We got the stainless steel piping with silicone hoses. It's got upgraded intercooler and aluminum radiator. And then the water meth system as well. And then the previous car. So yeah, that's about it.
We do a lot of Miltech systems. We're one of the Canadian distributors for Miltech. We buy directly from the UK. Got integrated engineering downpipe. We do a lot of their tuning and their hard parts. A lot of their intakes are really popular. There's one of them actually. And ignition coils is another big popular item that we sell for the guys with the 1.8s upgrading to the 2-liter ignition coils, and now a lot of guys going with the RS coils and the APR coils. So this is actually one of the intercoolers that from Do 88, which is based out of Sweden. It's the same intercooler as what I got in my car. This Do 88 company, they do a lot of intercoolers, a lot of piping kits, a lot mainly for Volvo, BMW, and Porsche. A lot of silicone hose kits as well, and they actually do some silicone products for that supercar company out of Sweden, Koenigsegg, I think it was called. So they've got really good quality products. Got a little display here of some boost gauges, air fuel gauges, oil pressure, water temp. And some goodies from AWE Tuning. We're the Canadian distributor for AWE Tuning, so any AWE tuning products that come into Canada come through us. We sell to all dealers, shops all over Canada. We've got, I think this is an M4 exhaust. And intake kits, we've got several tips. Goodies from Integrated Engineering on display here as well. Intake kit, their supercharged pulley, some connecting rods, IBOC. We carry a lot of the liquid moly products in stock, the additives, some APR goodies. This is one of their RS3 intake kits. So that's the over the engine pipe and huge filter for those cars. And then AWE intake kit for, I believe that one's a B9S4. Sonics, we carry a lot of their cleaning products in stock as well. Got some, 34 Motorsport is another brand that we are the Canadian distributor for. Again, all the dealers, any product that comes in basically comes through us, and we sell through all dealers all over Canada. Besides the performance stuff, we also do a lot of replacement parts, whether it be brake rotors, brake pads, filters, control arms. And then we've got some goodies here from Forge Motorsport. Go fast bits, a lot of diverter valves. Brake kit that we developed for some cars as well. Super Pro, we do a lot of their bushings, their sway bar links. And yeah, CTS turbos, another big brand that we sell quite a bit of. In terms of suspension, we've got Powerflex bushings, Super Pro bushings. And some goodies here. So ECS Tuning is another big company that we do a lot of their products. We're actually the largest dealer for ECS Tuning in the world, or yeah, in the world. We've got a lot of their stuff here in stock. We get orders in from them usually about twice a week this time of year, but with the whole COVID thing going on, it's a little bit harder to get stuff across the border. So it's about once a week still that we're getting stuff in from them. But it ends up being quite a bit cheaper for guys to buy the ECS tuning stuff from us than buying direct once they factor in all the shipping costs, the cross-border fees, the duties. The prices on our website include all those additional fees. And wheels, we also do quite a few wheels. So we get the same wheels on my wagon, but in the bronze finish, the FC04s and the black, metallic black. We also do wheels from GTS, Vorsteiner, Super Speed, Fast, Breitling. Oh, there's pretty much almost any wheel, Apex wheels, BBS wheels, almost any wheel that we have access to. And then suspension, you've got KW, coilover kits, ST, which is the sister company to KW. Basically, the STs are the same as KW. The only difference is KW is stainless steel bodies, while ST is all anodized steel. Another popular one is SoloWorks, guys that want a budget coilover kit. We sell a ton of SoloWorks, especially for the B8 cars. It's probably the most popular kit that we sell. And just recently, we've taken on MSS. They have conversion kits, which you can, it's basically springs that you use the factory shocks with, and converts it into a coilover kit. They're based out of the UK as well. The springs are manufactured by Eibach, and the neat feature about their kits is they have these, I don't know if it's here, they have like a rubber, I don't have it up here, a rubber mount that goes on one of the springs that makes the ride smoother, because it's almost like a progressive spring, a three-way progressive spring, because you've got the one rubber mount that takes up the small bumps, then you've got the progressive spring and then the main spring. So they call it like a three-way progressive system. Those you can start at a factory ride height and drop it down. Most of them are, I believe, 30 centimeters, which is about 1.3, 1.4 inch, and still utilizes the factory shocks. So a lot of the new cars with the electronic shocks, you don't have to incur the extra expense, and you can still have the coilover option of dropping or raising your car if you want. And then we've got some sway bars here. That one I believe is Volkswagen Racing Line, some 034 inserts. These are super popular. All these inserts that we sell, they go into the factory bushings, into the rubber factory bushings, and they slide in to fill those voids in the factory bushings and stiffen it up without having to change out the bushing. We do a lot of them for the suspension bushings, a lot for the engine bushings, and yeah, they are super popular. We buy them in 20 packs at a time. We go through them like crazy. Sneak peek into the back. So yeah, ECS Tuning skid plates. Those are a hot seller. We sell tons of those, especially with guys that are lowering their cars. And the new Volkswagen Mark 7s, the guys on those cars, they've got plastic oil pans, and yeah, once they lower their cars, they break them, so the skid plate is the best option to prevent the broken oil pans on lowered cars. So we stock quite a bit of AWE tuning, but only a few systems here. Most of our stock is in our US warehouse. We keep the most popular ones in stock here, and then bring them across the border on other items that we need to bring in as orders come in. So we get some integrated APR. And then we just got a shipment in from our US warehouse today, a couple skid. Yeah, that's about it.
Hi, my name's Mike, and my family has been a Audi enthusiast for quite a few years now. And our most recent addition to the family of Audis is a new RS3 that belongs to our daughter. She just picked it up, took delivery of it a week and a half ago. So it's virtually a brand new car, RS3. This is our project in works. The other cars we have all been heavily modified. This one is still virtually stock. We've done a few little modifications to it at this point, basically the air intake and cold boxing of the intake. I'll show you that in a second. But I'll walk around on the car and then I'll open the hood. So at this point in time, we've just started to do a few simple modifications. First one we've done is remove the factory air box, put in a larger breather, and box the air off for isolation of controlling the temperature of the intake air. Doesn't really increase horsepower, but certainly increase throttle response. And on this car, there's more to come.
Again? It's so quiet.
And we've also done a custom stainless steel dual back into a split pipe exhaust. It was all custom welded. We found that some of the off-the-shelf ones were a little restrictive and a little too quiet for the car's nature. So it's got an oversized intercooler, again a full stage 2+ tune on the engine, and I'll let walk around on this car. Motor virtually looks stock, but as far as the aftermarket mods, it's putting out in excess of 500 horsepower. The biggest car we have. It's my RS7 performance package. It's a 2017 we picked up about 2.5 years ago. It's heavily modified as well. It's an APR stage 2 with exhaust, stock suspension, but I'll let walk around on this one. this car is running in excess of 800 horsepower. It's an APR Stage 2 with some additional modifications to the fuel rail system. It's a 3-inch dual catback exhaust, APR downpipes. To hold the power to the road, we had to go to a 305 25 series tire. Stock suspension at this point, though we have replaced the OEM sway bars in the rear with a heavier 034 racing street bar and solid mounts, which certainly helped with the rear end stability of the car in high-speed cornering. This car is virtually completed. We don't want to do any more work to it, though I do have a set of lowering springs to bring the suspension down about 3/4 of an inch, simply to plant the car a little bit better on the roads. I'd like to give a big shout out and a thank you to all the staff at Hamilton Audi. Susan in the sales department and Scott in the service department have been absolutely fantastic with us. In fact, they've assisted in a lot of the decisions that were made in the building of these cars. So again, thank you to Hamilton Audi and the people down there. They've been absolutely wonderful with us.